Hello again, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. A Saturday night. It's April Fool's is the date, and certainly no indication of the guests who are coming, myself included. We're going to have some open discussions, and I've already got a couple of guests who've joined me. So, welcome, Epic, and welcome, Senior Paul. What?
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate you having me up here. I figure I'll be one of the first fools of the day to come up here.
Oh, you're
She's
muted.
she's muted.
Here.
You had a busy day today, Jack, huh?
It's been an interesting day,
Okay,
a day of blessings.
good.
How about you? How was your day? Let's start there. You know what? Welcome, friends. How are you guys today?
I'm good.
Good,
I'm good, thank
good,
you.
good. Yep.
Um, yeah, today was I wasn't sure where today was going to go. Honestly, a few days ago I was inspired with the idea of doing a discussion on today, April Fool's Day, right? Try and let people in on some of the joke that I've been discovering for myself. You know,
Yeah,
you could
makes
say
sense.
it in a well, here's where I'm coming from. I've said it elsewhere, and it is, you can take it kind of as a sick joke. Facts, all the story always depends on how you present the facts, right? And then,
Right.
so the facts is we each live this life as humans, as people. We live our length of time and then we die. And there's a lot of mystery to that. What was there before we were? What is going on outside of where we are? And what happens when we're gone? So
Great question.
there's a lot of mystery to that. So over the past few years, admittedly, I've been trying to understand the mindset, maybe the intelligence of the creator. And so kind of detach your mind from the world and just kind of look at it for what it might be. Just a little terrarium, a little ball of life that's floating through the galaxy of space and time. Just an experimentation of life. And so from the God's perspective, life is kind of like a practical joke. It's like, here you go. Here you go. Here's life. Here's adventure. Here's love and fear. Poof. Nope. It's gone.
Right. And it goes by that quick too. I mean, the time flies by faster all the time. It seems. So,
It seems the older we get, the quicker it goes, at least in my world anyway.
right. I agree.
You know what? I was kind of trying to wrap my mind around that thought too. It's like as we get older, the past is less surprising, right? We're detached from in time, we're detached from the experience of what we were living through before. And as we're going through time, man, life throws you curveballs and
Oh my gosh.
surprises
All
and
kinds the last couple of years has been a lot of curveballs. Whoa.
man, well happening, it seems so severe. But as you get older, you've seen the show, you've seen the patterns, you've been through it
I've seen a
before.
lot.
It's
I've been watching. But I'm not, yeah, I mean, I'm not your age, but I've
Uh
seen, I'm not saying that he's much wiser than me. I mean, to be looking at, the past and everything. So,
do you,
turn your volume up there a little bit.
Jack? Do you ever think what it's like to be dead?
I have.
hmm.
It's
I've
kind
heard a
of
lot of
weird.
well, I've listened to a lot of the near-death experiences
Same
that
Right.
here.
people have
Same here.
reported.
Very interesting subject.
It really is. But have you come across the name of Dolores Cannon by
Yeah,
chance?
I've heard of that, of her. Yep.
Paul, for those who don't know, she's passed now, but she did a lot of work regarding I can't remember the description she gave it, but it's quantum hypnosis, taking
Yeah.
people into a very deep state of hypnosis. And
Yeah.
she relayed messages of people remembering back to the source, right? Remembering back to the infiniteness connection.
Yeah, that's amazing. That stuff is so interesting. It's really like one of my favorite subjects to study. That the deep stuff is where it's where I want to go, you know.
It's fascinating, isn't it? There's so many different possibilities, so many different explanations, and it's just, it can be overwhelming. It can be quite confusing and intimidating.
Definitely.
But that's what I realized. I think that's the love of God, right?
It's
Right.
hard. It's hard to imagine though, just not existing. I mean, when we go to sleep,
Right. It really
we
is.
dream. We have all these things because we're still alive. So, but
Right.
just to not exist is a weird conception. You know?
It is. I even think about that a lot now, just because with everything going on, I feel like we're in a time where we need to enjoy every moment. No fighting, no really the drama, all of it. I don't want any part because it's too short. The
But
time is getting short.
the
So
problem, I think me and Jack and I should say, discuss this, that it's easier said than done. We take life for
true.
granted. We take life for granted, and we
Yes.
think, and we cannot wake up tomorrow. We never know what can happen, and
You got it.
we should all be living to the fullest, but we don't because we take it for granted. We can't believe. I know when I was
So
younger.
many take it for granted.
When I was younger, I would say that couldn't possibly happen to me. How could this happen to me?
Right.
And as you get older, it becomes a hell of a reality.
Well, that, and like I said, if you're paying attention and you're seeing what's going on around you, it becomes more the reality, becomes more you just more like like I said, time is short. I mean, just with everything going on, it just seems there's so much and time is speeding up and everyone's at each other's throats and you have agents here, agents there, people trying to cause chaos. Jack knows. Yeah, and it's just love is the most important thing. Like you say, like peace, love, chill out. We could be gone tomorrow. They could start dropping bombs over here tomorrow. That might sound insane, but they really could.
I actually, I tell my family here that I envision bombs dropping in my backyard here, which is they said, where'd that come from? I don't know. I see these all of a sudden explosions around me because of all this crap that is going around the world. And we think it can't happen here, but I don't know.
It can. I think it can. I think we don't know. I feel like they're getting ready to, they're messing with our minds a lot, but after all the thing that happened for the last few years, you're just wondering almost like, something else is going to come up. So what thing are they going to do? I feel like it could be big. And that's why I feel like enjoy every moment because we could all be like, poof, gone tomorrow. Do we really want to waste energy, precious time on, fighting and stuff?
I think as people we love to fight. Jack knows.
But
right,
they
Jack?
do. You're right. It appears they do because I see it happening all the time. That's why I'm like, guess what? My pre-warning is I will just be clicking out of some of these panels because the guys seem to really like to go back and forth. And it's like, well, when no one's getting a word in edgewise, just goodbye. That's going to be me.
And that's why I come over. That's why I come over to Jack.
Right,
right. So we can have a, you know what I'm talking about, Jack. I don't want to get into that, but
no,
at least you and I can go back and forth civilly, and you speak your
civilized.
mind. I speak
calm.
my mind, and we can go around and just get it off our minds, you know. But Jack,
Right.
I want to ask you, I guess going into the old thing, do you believe in the déjà vu?
That's,
Do you
I've
think,
That is
experienced
an interesting
my
topic
own.
too.
yeah,
Huh.
Well, there's something, here's where I'm at. And please, what you're discussing, the probabilities, the possibilities, bombs dropping. Yeah, there's some crazy, crazy stuff going on, and there's
Oh yeah.
tension building.
Big tension building.
But here's the faith, and this kind of ties into what you were saying too. The purpose of this panel is a more peaceful. This is the purpose, what we're
right.
doing right here. So this purpose is different than what others offer. But I shared this over elsewhere earlier as well. There's a lot of agendas that are being learned of, right?
Yeah,
There's some darkness that's been planned and coming.
definitely.
So we know about them. They don't know about us yet. We are the solution. We are the interruption. We are the ones who will be the point of the spear, bringing
I'd like
forth
to hope
the
so.
movement.
You know, you gotta hope that when the time comes that there will be, some sort of banding together where it needs to happen, if that makes sense. I just feel like,
Sister, welcome aboard.
yes, yes. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Jack, I have a little request. I like that little background music. You usually put that calming. You don't have it tonight? No,
I've
you don't
got it
have it.
down. I've
What happened?
got it down. Should I turn it back up a little?
I love it. I don't hear it. I don't hear it on my end. I hear a little whirring, but I don't hear that nice little thing
I
going
love a
on.
little calming, a little
Yeah, a little
classical,
calming stuff.
maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's all good. I'm just happy. I'm honestly I'm new at this, so I'm just kind of happy to get my feet wet and chat, a little. He was talking to someone there.
Quick story. When I was, I'll never forget in
Look at him,
kindergarten.
he's like this.
Believe it or not, in kindergarten, there was an older girl I used to walk with, whatever, and I don't know how the topic came up, but I said in my next life, I think I want to be. And she looked at me and said, "What next life?" I said, "When I die, when I come back." She goes, She goes, "When you die," and that hit me so hard. What do you mean I don't come back? I'm just gone? She goes, "Yeah, when you're dead, you're dead."
Yeah, see, I don't know if I want to come back. I really don't. I don't.
Once here, I wanted to escape. I was praying for death for a long time.
I did that for a long time.
Just excuse
as
me
well.
1 second. My granddaughter said, "Excuse me 1 second. I'll be right back." Excuse.
Hey, blessings. God bless.
Yes.
I saw the little one in the back.
I know, how cute.
What do you need? What?
Here, I'm gonna.
I can't get it.
I love the voice. I love the sounds of children.
Oh yeah. Do you have little grandchildren or anything, or no grandchildren?
No, not yet.
But you have kids.
Yeah, that's another interesting story. But
yeah, I think I've kind of heard little things about. I mean, nothing concrete. So I don't want to know your. People online seem to really talk a lot of talk, and you just don't. You can't really pay attention to it because you don't know what is even true or what. There's so much trolling and everything.
There really is, but in the bigger picture, that's what we're experiencing. We're experiencing the quickening, the change.
Yeah.
And so what about this? One of my favorite philosophers is more current time was Terence McKenna. You familiar with him?
Yep.
Listening to him and Sheldrake and golly geez, the other guy talk. If time is just the phenomenon of change, it's the record of change, right? Mm-hmm. So time is just the phenomenon of the activity of change. Well, as our civilization is growing, the change, while it may be, the change is happening in more drastic ways and more, there's just a greater amount of change. Quality
Definitely.
of change and quantity of change is
Oh yeah.
happening. So therefore, time is quickening. We're
Yeah.
experiencing a rapid transition of our physical states of being, along with our mental, our spiritual
All
states
of
of
it.
being.
Yes. The last few years I feel all of that. And it just makes me more grateful for every moment though. You know, it really does. I think
Sister,
that's
I want to encourage and congratulate that. And for those who are listening and they have not reached that point yet, please, you can
it
drive
takes a
yourself
lot to
nuts.
right. It takes a
Go
lot
ahead.
to get there, but that's what I was going to say to you earlier. Sorry to interrupt. I've just been through a lot and I've been in really low places, feeling like I didn't want to be here for many years of my adult life. So I almost feel like God gets closer to those who suffer tremendously, you know. I truly believe that. And then once that happens, you start to get like everything is amazing, you know. Even the things that get you down, you're like, we can't stay in this spot. We have to just let it go, move forward and spread like you do. Try to spread love, peace, you know. Because really, we could, like I said, not be here tomorrow. So,
It's a humbling thought. And it's not just we might not be here tomorrow, those who we love,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Um,
And
my
I'm sorry, Jack. Go ahead.
no, I
No, I'm
my
just saying, but talking about the ones that we love and we take for granted. And I see so much of regret. You know, people in their
Yeah.
families fighting, and
Right.
then somebody dies. And I always try to preach no regret. Just try to do it now. I see it too often, way too
Yeah,
often. And then once they're gone, it's too late. Now you want to be sorry and all this other stuff. I've seen it just way too much.
I know. And I don't want to end up in that position. I don't want to be full of regrets and be like, this is how I treated them the last time we talked or anything. That kind of stuff tears me up. I'm sensitive, very sensitive. So that's why, like I said, I'm not dealing with any BS pretty much, you know? So it's like, no, if I love you as a friend, then I really, I am an introvert and stuff, and I don't just connect with everyone. So if I care about you that way, sorry to go on, then no, then like I said, I don't want to regret and end up being a jerk to you the last time I see you. No way. No way. No.
what I've learned is the simplest thing, just focus on the present and
Yeah.
focus on the future you want. Anger may feel good in the moment, but if you're honest about it, I know my actions and reactions of anger never did anyone any good.
Right. And you can recognize that. So that's good,
Mhm.
you know? Yeah.
What I
Hmm.
But
find, what I find, Jack, a lot of times, a lot of us have that knee jerk anger,
Hmm.
just impulsive. You know, if we can just sometimes stop and think before we react. I think if we can do that, we're a little bit ahead of the game.
Right. And if people could stop and think even before they talk, before they get going with the emotions and you know, all over the place, it's like, let's calm, think. Like you said, there's not enough of that. 90% don't do
well,
that. And I know that sounds bad to
Are,
say 90%, but I think like maybe
are,
80.
are you guys animal lovers by any chance?
I love animals. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the reasons we love them because they don't have a big mouth, you know, like
Yes,
us, right?
yes,
That's what get
yes.
think about what gets us in trouble most of the all the time. Our
Our
big mouths,
mouths.
our stupid mouths,
You got
amen.
it.
and
You
that's
got it.
why we love our pets because they just have that unconditional love for us typically, and they can't talk back to us.
Right. I have a puppy that's almost a year old. So I still
Ah,
call her a puppy. I just love her to pieces. So yeah.
what breed?
Lasso Opso. So a little
Oh,
doggy.
that's okay. They're the ones that. Is it he or she?
It's
Male,
a she,
female?
female.
She's in the bed with you, right?
Yeah, she's very
Of course.
cuddly and
Yes.
very sweet. Yeah.
Well, the wonderful thing about animals is, unlike humans, they don't hide their emotions.
Right.
They don't lie to us. They'll, if they're pissed, they're going to show us they're pissed.
Oh yeah.
And, but people, man, it's that
And yeah.
egoic mind.
And the thing is also with the animals, like I said, they will let it go right away,
Yes.
whether so they let it go and and that's very important. We could learn from the animals, big time.
Honestly, that was a big habit I had to break myself of. The zebra gets chased by a wild cat. It's not going to spend the next 3 weeks complaining to its zebra buddies about getting chased.
You got it. Bingo.
Yeah.
Wise man, Jack. Wise man.
Well, it took me a lot of angst to finally realize that I was my biggest problem.
The ego, like you talk about, the ego really is the biggest thing. And a lot of people just can't drop it. They just can't. I don't think they can. And I think I don't know. It is what it is.
You can. I mean, I was in that position. Jack and I spoke about this a few times. It can be done. It takes a lot of work, and you have to be vulnerable and transparent. And once you become vulnerable, that's what I found. I'm talking about me anyway. Became vulnerable, then pretty much I could let that ego go. See,
Yeah.
in the past, I had the big ego. I wasn't vulnerable, so.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
love to hear people that work through that. That's always interesting to hear, because some don't end up doing it, but some do. So good for you.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm loving this because what you said, vulnerability, that is a key. It is a key because the ego, it's both the false arrogance, right? It's the one that tries to control, and then it's also the false, what's the opposite, would be the opposite.
He might know.
Well, the one that allows itself to be oppressed, the victim. Okay.
Right.
So the ego is also the victim, the helpless one, and the arrogant.
Both sides. Yeah. Right.
In the past, one of the reasons why I didn't want to be vulnerable, and I see it catching up now, is that when you become vulnerable, at least in my world, that when you do get into maybe a little scuffle, the first thing that comes out of someone's mouth is, well, they go right to that thing that you were vulnerable about.
Right.
And I think, Jack, you see that.
Yeah, he sees that a lot. Oh my gosh, I don't know how he runs these panels even. I'm like, oh boy, I gotta go. I can't watch.
And
I don't even like.
That's one of the worst things. You've opened up to somebody, and now they throw it right back at you.
Right.
Well, and Paul, as a man, as a father, my heart goes out to you. I see unease in the relationship, and my prayers are that you guys find peace, and there's hope. Hey, and actually, sorry, welcome, Joe Cool. Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. But
I saw him the other day on a panel. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Just responding to that real quick, Jack. I don't think it's as bad as it's made out to be
Good.
honest with, at least on my end. So let's kind of leave it at that. I think it's
perfect.
A little blown up out of proportion, at least the way I view it anyway.
That happens.
I hope so.
If we
That
talk
was
Jack,
about
my
you're
Paul
glitch.
and the old man, I heard Tommy talk about it first. It was all blown out of proportion. I went over there and looked, and they looked like two regular cats to me. I
It was
expected,
all blue.
I expected drama and shit. They was getting along better than me. Oh man, everything's fine. I don't even see what the topic is.
Hey, I wanted to come back to what Quantum said uh, a few minutes ago about kind of the acceptance. Acceptance is where I heard you saying about the stillness and allowing ourselves kind of the self-control, not necessarily react. See,
Right.
to me, that is the feminine energy that
I
has
think it
been
definitely
oppressed.
is.
It probably is. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I hate
Well,
to admit that. It was like hard to say that.
well, we I humbled
I'm about to
myself to
turn
the
some men's worlds upside down here. I'm coming up with fire.
hey, sister, the energy is welcome. I love
Right?
it.
Right. We need some girls up on here. What the heck?
The when my mind started opening up, when I started trying to understand love, that's when I actually started trying to understand the feminine aspects a little deeper.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it was transformative. I didn't
Yeah.
realize how foolish I was as a man to believe some of the stupid shit I chose to believe.
Can you
Well, it
point to
takes,
any
you
of them?
gotta learn, you know?
Can you point to any of them, Jack, that that you learned were kind of like cavemanish or whatever, wherever you're going with that?
Probably the best example is
Oh, man.
that you can
So,
even by any stretch judge a man by the appearance of the woman who's at his side.
You
The
say you
appearance,
cannot? I think you
no,
can.
I think you
no.
can kind of.
Yeah, if you
I'm
got
half and
some
half.
toxic boss bitch with you, I'm gonna judge
There
you.
is some boss
You
bitch
are
toxic
right.
ones
All
out there.
right. Hey, to every parrot, the truth is a paradox. There's always an untruth. Amen.
There
You're
always
right.
is. Yes. Yes, there is.
You're right. My point is, I used to look at women as an object, as a trophy. I was less
That would have been a
value.
better one. That was a better example. Yes,
I
yes.
have to warn Jack. I
I
have to tell Jack something. You're glitching out. Is your battery getting low? Your
It might.
screen?
The girl's got some telephone experience. She knows that the shit glitches right before the battery
No, but
dies.
I really am. So maybe it's just mine. It could just be mine. It could be
I
mine.
had noticed, but I'm high as fuck, so I'll pay
Oh,
attention
great.
now.
Okay, what
I'll
do
pay
you think
attention
down
now.
here?
It might be my connection, but
Oh, let me ask something. You guys get along so great. Conversation is great in all things. But that in my nature makes me want to use you guys to figure out my problems.
Oh boy.
Right. So here's what I've been throwing around and looking at a lot in the last 2 days. In the dictionary, they've changed the definition of a woman, what I consider a woman, to cis woman. I can't call you a woman anymore. I have to call you a cis
That
woman.
is so messed up. That's all I have to say. Are you being for real? Are you serious?
It's in some dictionary. I heard about it yesterday.
I'm not familiar with that term, Joe. What you
Cis,
say? Cis woman?
CIS woman. What I consider a regular woman, has now been redefined so that they can make the regular woman shit fit the male and female can be a regular woman, and the strictly female, as I understand them, must be called cis woman.
Who's that? I can't see. Yeah. Huh. Well, I don't
We
agree with any of that. So,
we have a lot of
you
these crazy things, pronouns, all this other crap going
know,
around
right,
that
right.
I don't believe in any of that stuff.
No,
I'm old
me
school.
neither. Mm-mm. No. It's just
hey,
Somebody,
dark shit they're trying to push. Dark stuff. Inverted, turned around.
well,
No. So,
it's through the manipulations of words that men have been controlled.
of
So
course.
we do need to pay attention, and that
Very
is
good.
interesting.
Very good.
Hey,
Yes, we do have to learn the language because that's how they control the slaves that we're trying to free up. Yeah. So yeah.
yeah, it's sad. It's like so many things are going on that's insane. You could just talk about forever about all the stuff they're pushing out there.
You can tell us people got too much free time on their hand. If you had
Oh,
to get out there and make and
Oh,
cut
yeah.
down the trees for your heat and do real shit, real work, and toil for
Right.
your food that night, you don't have time to be whether Sally's a transgender,
Right.
bifluent, so and so.
Thank
Did you
you.
call me he? I'm a she. You don't have time for that shit.
Right on.
You should be called whatever you have. Well, I don't want to be so crude. Maybe, I guess, between your legs, that's who you are. Whatever you got
Right.
going on there, that's what you are. I don't care if you got makeup or no makeup. It's what, and that's the bathroom you better be damn using, man. That's all I got to say.
Here's
Right.
one that I got a friend who's trans. I got a few trans friends, but I got one that was a guy. And then became a girl. And when I met her in Florida, she was a girl. Then when I left, she turned back to a guy again for a while. Then next time I saw her, she was a girl. So was she really a girl then? Really a man? You know, is it dependent upon her whims and thoughts? You know, that's
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so bizarre. I mean, I don't judge anyone, but I don't have any friends that are, trans or any of that. But that would be confusing.
I gave
but
her shit too. I was like, motherfucker, you got me calling you and she no, Joe, me and then she had to tell me, Joe, I gotta tell you, you better not tell me yes. Call me she. God damn it.
Right.
It's ridiculous. A man puts on some makeup and they're a woman. It's just ridiculous.
And what's even more ridiculous,
there he is.
they
she
try
is.
to make
There
a legislation.
She's a hyper case. She's jumped down.
It's more ridiculous when you have to. It's one thing if they're ridiculous on their own. It's another thing when they tell you society got to buy into what we consider ridiculous.
Right. You got it. Oh my gosh. I'll never forget that video where that, I don't know what it was. He remember it? Someone has to in here, where she was in the store and she's like, "It's ma'am. It's ma'am."
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, that was bizarre beyond, oh my God.
There's a lot of confusion and a lot of confused people out there. And I see all this evidence as just that. It's evidence of the state of our society. This is the history. This is the time of history we are living
through. Yes. Unprecedented times. So.
Well, it is. You know what? We have never been as old as we are today. We've never known as much as we have learned this far. So
us
today,
as individuals or us as a collective?
Yes.
As a collective. So you say both. Okay.
Both. Well, individually, we are that, and that which is us.
I'm gonna step away real quick. I'll be right back. Keep me up. I'll be right back.
You're welcome.
Jack, were you losing your mind before? I could have swore I heard you say something along the lines of you couldn't judge a mate by who's next to him?
Jack, who is that? Jack, who is that?
That's Paul.
Yes, this is our guest. I didn't get to welcome. This is the unslaved one. I did say that, but I was quickly corrected by the members on the panel.
All right, I didn't get that part, but if you were corrected, then why should I come in here and correct you further?
Please do. I always enjoy your perspective. Well, I don't always enjoy your perspective, but
it's like most people. You enjoy my perspective unless it's about you.
You know what?
Most people seem to follow
but
that.
It always seems it's all about Jack, so I don't know.
When you say criticism, you're attacking me.
Well, you know what? Hey, Paul, you and I are much alike, as are you.
Don't
and Tom.
remind me.
I heard that conversation earlier. Too.
I'm about to say that we just had that conversation.
I know. I don't mean to bring that up either. Hey, did you get some rest, brother? You took a break, you get some food, nourishment? Good.
Well,
food is good. Food is good.
Copulated. I had a copulation session. All is well. Praise
I
God.
miss those.
I was on the way. I'm gonna turn back around. I was on the way, make it a threesome. Fuck it, I'm gonna spin back around, go back.
Oh my gosh. Well, lucky all of you.
No kidding.
Jeez.
God.
I just cuddle with my puppy. That's all I get to do. That's it.
That's the best.
Well,
Damn, that's illegal in many states. I would watch that.
That's illegal.
well,
Right.
I just discovered that one of those labels is probably accurate for me. The incel.
God.
That's funny.
No.
Yeah, that's not one of the labels you want to be accurate.
Yeah, you
I
don't claim
know.
that. No way.
I know it's not, but whatever, dude.
Whatever, dude.
I've worn a lot of labels in my life.
Yeah, I heard
Um,
that shit.
I mean,
Same
there's probably at least one man out there that would have sex with you, so technically that's not involuntary celibate.
I've been hit on by more men than women over the past few
Oh.
years,
Hey, brother.
No. No.
and
Dude.
transgender. Maybe
Where do
that,
you live?
you know
Where
what?
do you
Maybe
live
that
where
says
people-
where I'm spending my time. I don't know.
Maybe say
Right.
more about you,
Right.
The
Jack, how
weirdest
did you know
thing,
they were
I was in a gay
transgender?
bar the other day, and this guy hit
Hey,
on
you
me.
know me. What the fuck is wrong with him?
Jack, the Adam's apple? Was it the Adam's apple that cued you in, or what was it?
Oh, it was the deep voice
Oh,
and the obvious.
I've
The
had
big
obvious-
hands, big hands.
It wasn't
My
the
life,
apple, it was the
dude.
grapes that tipped him off.
Serious. Guys, if you saw my life like I've seen it, holy shit, it is hilarious.
That's awesome. If you're laughing, that's the
Right.
best part. Then.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're supposed to do, honestly, is laugh at ourselves, laugh at our lives. You silly humans. That's all you can accomplish? Pitiful
You
fools.
get beat up for that though, right? If you don't take it as serious,
Right.
So it was a
Right.
killing. How do you think murder is funny? If you
Oh,
don't,
amen.
how can you crack
Amen.
a joke about animal abuse? If it depends, you get beat the fuck up for being, laughing and seeing the humor in life.
You know,
That's
that is true. That is true. God, we're just damned if we do and damned if we
Damn
don't.
if we don't.
That's for sure.
Yes.
Well, see, that comes back to the point of today. April Fools. You only think that you are.
Hey, where did that originate? You made me think of the story. I don't remember it, but there's someone said the story one time. Anybody? I gotta ask Siri.
Yeah,
Hey,
Siri.
That's an idea.
Where does April Fools start?
Here's what I found from mentalfloss.com today. It's generally agreed that April Fool's has its origins in France.
Oh, I didn't mean a fucking location.
You're
Hmm.
funny.
Well, it's like any of our other silly human traditions. Someone made it up, convinced others to believe it,
Right. Yeah.
and then the next thing you know, it's Saturday.
You mean like the Easter
Exactly.
Bunny, Jack?
Just another day. Exactly. Just another day. I'm
It
right there
is.
with you.
Hey, Jack, I don't want to rain on your parade, but Saturday doesn't exactly exist either.
Wait, what? I didn't hear him.
I know.
Saturday
It's
isn't
all
a real
now.
thing. Please.
Yeah, like none of it
Well,
actually.
actually-
It's not actually real.
Please explain further. I want to see where you're going with that.
I
'Cause I
get where he's
agree,
going. I know.
Well, if nobody made all this shit up and divided everything up into hours and minutes
There we go.
and quantified it down into a calendar and all that, these are conceptualizations. They're
That's
data
what it-
points,
Yep.
but they're not actually here around us and with us. I wake up
Right.
every day, live the same day over and over again. What do I need to know about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for? That's for
That's true.
slaves. That's
Yeah.
for slaves who know they got to be to work
Right.
Monday to Friday and then maybe get 2 days a week to not be one and set
Hey,
their
Right.
alarm for Monday again.
Speaking
don't
of
need that.
slaves, April Fool's Day, apparently, I just looked up the origin, is some slave shit. Everybody knew that the new year would be spring, so it starts off in April. And everyone who believed otherwise was a fool. So they
Really?
were, yes, April Fools are for those who believe now April is the new year. They're fools.
Right.
It believes in the it
Huh. I
starts in
didn't
the
know that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's solstice and harvest. That was my guess, but I didn't want to speak without the. But it has to have something to do with the seasons and growing and crops. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Some
Good to
this
know.
is where
propaganda.
you would
Didn't
start
Yeah.
know
to
that.
plant, right? Around
Yeah,
this time.
propaganda. And I think I've heard that's when Jesus would have been born around harvest time. So that'd be interesting if he was born in spring.
I got to do more research on that then. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, part of the control mechanism is breaking everything down into little pieces, uh, so that then they could put it back together in a way they want it to look like for you. So,
Yes.
Right.
everyone's sitting around all day looking at these clocks, and they're in a space of beingness where they're constantly in past, future,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Where so
that's
like
true.
it's a conflicting space. If you didn't have any of this shit, you just rise with the light, go to bed when it gets dark. You're in a
Yes.
supernatural program. You're in a flow state, right? There is no resistance. When you add all these other days and times, then you find out used to be they had everything divided up equally. So what would it be? 28
Oh
days
yeah,
in
man.
each
Yeah,
month,
about that.
Right.
and then it would equal 360, right? So like
13
the math
months.
would all work out where it would all be sound. Then they change it because they want you in resistance. Oh,
Mhm.
some months it's 28, 29, other ones it's 31. Why are they
Yeah.
throwing off the whole thing, right? Why are they throwing off the pattern? If you're gonna do these number games and create conceptualizations, there's order to it. It's called spelling, right? It's called magic. So if you're
Right.
gonna do that, you do it based on what is orderly and it has an equation behind it. They're
Right. Right.
constantly putting us in different forms of resistance, just like
Yeah.
well, the time
Well,
zones is another thing that we could get
yeah.
into, this whole thing where they're flipping times forward and backward and making people believe they're gaining and losing hours, and nothing's changing. This is pimping and
Yes.
macking,
Yeah.
you know,
And then on
There's,
top
like
of
I've never
that,
seen.
it's just constant. It's just they're constantly throwing stuff at us. Not even just the time. Now it's like time, days, but now, like I said, there's so much they're throwing at
Now
us. Just
there's a fifth
oh,
ocean now. The planets have changed twice since I was an adult. The number of planets, the
hmm,
number of continents, which was a fact when I was a kid, is debatable. Yeah, there's a fifth or ocean now. There's no we learned four oceans: Atlantic, Pacific, Arctic, and whatever the freaking other one is. Well, now there's a fifth one. I think it's called the North Ocean. I think is what it's called.
really? I
Yeah.
didn't know
How
that.
the fuck did we grow
well,
new land? Did we grow new
hey,
water? How does that was that makes no fucking
Joe,
Right.
sense.
So the
Whatever they
calendar
want to tell you.
changes,
every,
the times change, the meanings of words somehow change over 100 years. But you know what doesn't change? Mind, heart control, and slavery. And everybody's serving everybody's serving either themselves or a beast system, which if you
well,
serve yourself, you're gonna be in a beast system because you're a comfort freak.
hold on.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's back to the inspiration I had for the day of the letting people in on the practical joke of life. All time is now. All time that ever was or ever will be is a waveform and convergence,
Right.
and it's all happening simultaneously right now
I think
within
the
us and around us. So it's
I think
mind
the
blowing.
I think one of the lost books of the Bible said that time is not a real thing. That's me paraphrasing. It is constructed by God, so men would have a space to make their meetings and appointments together. It's like
Hmm.
they were telling you then. It's not really a real thing. We just did it so you cats can meet up somewhere and do what you got to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's a way to create order out of what seems like chaos to a
Yeah.
chimpanzee, but what seems like chaos to a chimpanzee to God is oftentimes perfectly ordered,
I
you
would
know?
agree with
So
that shit. Every time very fucking, why God let a baby die? Well, he's been right a lot of fucking times. Maybe he has a plan that I don't see. I'll have to leave room for that being a possibility before I continue on.
Right.
And I could see some ways. Let's say this is a video game. Let's say you play Resident Evil, which I love, a Grand Theft Auto. The guy runs over a fucking kid in a video game. Everybody in the video game is hollering, "Oh, he killed my baby." And game ends, you step out of it. It wasn't even real. This game ends, you did, "Oh my God,
Right.
the baby died."
That's how you got to
Wasn't
think
even
about
real.
this reality.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Well, just like when you run off in those games, you don't see nothing until you run further,
To
right?
that area,
You
right?
just see, yeah, that's the perspective. So something about the way our eyes, do that equation, like a graphics processor, is the same way that graphics processor is showing you, oh, there's the horizon, it's right over there, and then you run toward it, and it's right over there, and you run toward it, and it's right over there, right? It's the way that the graphics are being processed by the machine. These machines are takeoff of our human biology. They're doing the same shit. We don't even know in this reality, if you run far enough, that there isn't a fucking edge where you just can't go no more. We don't know that.
We don't
When
know
you
for
get in the
sure.
game, you run far enough out, and then you just bump into like air that's solid, right? We don't even know that. That you could go up into space and find out that's that Van Allen radiation belt. It's literally a dome around all of us, and you can't even get out of it. So we could be in a holographic simulation, just like that character in a video game, and we wouldn't know it. It would
You
just
can
be a
be in a
biological
holographic.
version of that.
You can be in a holographic simulation. It would be quite easy for you still to get past that Van Allen, and all of that shit still be real. All of the billions
Oh,
and
yeah.
trillions of planets, and it's
I
still
think
a
anything's
fucking
possible.
simulation because
Yeah.
God is that fucking big. The video game. They said, somebody else was saying, that's how you know that this is a video game. I forgot the word they used, but the way you can tell is, if you were playing a game, looking at a computer, you zoom in. When you get small enough, shit will pixelate and shit will go out of order.
Right.
They say
Right.
they say that's what quantum physics is. When you drill down on this shit, it pixelates and it reveals that it is not real. It is not what you think, because
It's
all
all
the
like
rules
ones and
change.
zeros, right? Something like that. Yeah, it's the ones and zeros thing. Something like that.
With the computer, my point was that under intense scrutiny, the rules break. That seems to be true on the looking on the computers. When you look and you can see the pixels, if you can zoom in with a camera, at some point the pixels fuck up and they can't keep it up. It's the same things when you zoom in on quantum a level, a micro level. You find
Right.
out that all the rules are different, and it is nothing like the big shit. It breaks down and it reveals that this ain't what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating topic as well. So yeah.
That was somebody else's idea. I thought it was dope though.
All right, I'm gonna go to the store. I'll see y'all later.
All right, 2 of them.
See you later.
All right.
Oh, where'd the guy go? PPL or whatever. I wanted to.
Yeah, where'd the host go and the other guy? They're just leaving us to hanging out here.
I wanted
There
to
he is.
Holy cows, we had people in the back here too. My apologies. Welcome, Lauren. Good to see you.
Oh, look at another lady's here. Yay!
Did I miss this opportunity? Oh my heavens.
Lauren and
Justice
Tommy,
League
I'm sure
showing
that's a
up.
coincidence.
Yeah, Tommy's down there. Oh boy, the troublemakers
Hey,
here.
listen, I respect Lauren enough to say this does not mean we're officially together yet. It's just shit talk game I play.
You're
Yeah.
always shit
Grabbler,
talking.
small hat sexual.
He was
but we are
totally
not
just in
officially
my
an item.
comment section talking about you, Lauren. Totally, I was just reading them leaving comments talking about you.
What
I just
about
got
me?
here. Lauren drove me. You ain't gotta tell her what I say about it.
Lauren drove me.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's my black experience. Is Lauren drives me everywhere.
Hey, Tommy, welcome. Lauren, good to see you. I'm sorry to leave you guys in the back, and I missed some of what came about. I had someone ring the doorbell, so
Definitely not a collector.
It's
Well-
okay. It's okay, right? It happens. But you know what? As crazy as this is, the timing always just works out different. I'm gonna check out for a little bit. I might come back.
All right.
Thank you,
You know
Quantum.
what happens? It's crazy, but welcome and hello to Lauren. Is it? Yeah, Lauren.
Yeah.
Hi
Nice to
and
meet you,
bye.
Quantum.
It's good to see you.
Hey, thanks for joining today, sister. It's been wonderful.
Trust me, I'll be on again, and hopefully I'll be on a little longer with whoever else that joins
Good.
in. Okay, bye.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Can
Lauren?
I say,
Oh,
yeah,
Joe
Lauren.
Cool, I've known longer than either of you two, but I haven't done an interview with him, and I've done an interview with both of you. How is that?
Joe.
I think
How
it's
is
because
that?
I think it depends. We could talk about something, but an interview is ego shit. I'm no expert on a thing and all of that. I don't even, I get asked all the time. I don't do the interview shit. However, I will talk about any fucking thing. I'm not gonna get out and fucking be an interview. That's fucking weird. And
Well, you don't have. Do you have like a specific topic?
I like to talk about everything.
Yeah. Me and Joe want to come on your show to talk about our recent appearance on Paul Enslaved. That's what we were talking about.
No. That's what you were talking about. You said you wanted to talk about.
Joe, do you want to come on my show to talk about?
I would not want to come on your show. No offense, but I think your show is positioned in a way that's not what I would dig. I don't want to get questions asked to poke me while I'm trying to talk about something in a sincere fashion. I think that's what you do. You like to have fun and that poke motherfuckers and make fun of them shit.
That's how you prove that you stand in your square. Did I not just go let Paul poke me as bad as he wants to, and he was unsuccessful?
Yeah, but I would not just run off into pokes just to prove a fucking point, right? I poke and prod and get poked and prod all fucking day. I don't see the advantages
their
of
fighting
it.
style.
I'm curious, Lauren. I
kind
of understand.
Let me interrupt you. I think I just got some clarity. We could talk here and now. Why would we need a show? It already appears tainted, right? Let's talk about whatever the fuck it was now, Tommy.
Well,
no, because I have, like on my show, I get to really try to understand people and understand where they come from. And on other people's shows, I often feel silence. And you're not allowed to like really try to get to understand a person.
Yeah.
Well,
I was trying to say, I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, Jack, but I was trying to point out Tommy's insincerity that he only wanted to talk. I'm saying no, he wanted to do more. If he just wanted to talk, he'd talk here. I totally understand. Your shit is beneficial to do the shit over there.
So you've been.
Then why wouldn't you do my show on whatever?
If I may, I'm curious because Joe, I kind of agree with what you were saying about your perspective of going on that show with someone who does.
Show. You think I don't get asked all the fucking time?
Amen. So I've got two questions here, because one for you too, Joe, because what you're doing, I promote. I love the work that I see you doing. I'm a newer fan to your channel, and I think what you're doing in your work, it's worthy of promoting and sharing, and going on to another platform such as Lauren's isn't necessarily egoic.
Agreed. If it was there on a different thing, it can't be that we want to get to know you, Joe, like you're somebody. I'm just like you. Is fucking weird. However,
you can have a topic. I've done specific topics. Like I've had interviews with a man about what cults are. I've done interviews about
that's ego shit to me. That's like you doing an interview. Tell me about ghetto culture, Joe. That's ego. I don't know. Maybe if you said cop watching, I might be down with it. So what the fuck do I know?
Well,
if you had said that, if he'd have been like, let's go over to Lawrence and do a show on cop watching, I'd have been down 1,000%. He says, let's go over here and talk about race on Lawrence.
I've done shows on cop watching. We could do shows on. I've done shows on porn bombing.
Joe Cool.
We could do a show on cop watching.
Joe Cool. I'm one of the highest viewed videos on her channel, and I ain't shit. I ain't nobody. Don't look at it as, ooh, let's talk to you like you somebody. Look at her like she's talking to anybody to see who they are. That's why I like the poke. I'm tired of hearing all these
you went on there because you have an ego. You want to go on Lawrence.
I have no ego. That's
you came off looking good. That's nonsense.
I'm not ego. I'm playing games on YouTube.
Actually,
ego?
Hold on, guys.
Joe, that's why I want to challenge you on your racial things, man.
Tom,
we can talk, lawyer.
Tom, hold on a minute. I'd like to ask Lauren, in line with the way that Joe presented it as though you come and ask questions kind of with your agenda. I experienced that myself on both occasions, my friend.
That
You
doesn't
weren't so
sound
much
fun to
trying to
me.
understand me as you were trying to get the
Why didn't you correct
information
her,
that
Jack?
supported your
I
belief.
corrected her. Me and her are still
That's
cool because I
true.
corrected her.
That's not true. I really try to understand you. That being said,
I know.
But you do what Jack is saying in the process, right? You know, you're gonna
Jack,
ask dude about his cocaine use 80 meth use 87 times. It becomes funny. We're all laughing and dying, and this dude thinking like, I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. I don't want to put words in his mouth.
but the
then
first
That
don't tell
30
doesn't
me I'm
sound
minutes, I
like
was
racist.
genuinely trying to understand the cult aspect of things, and then I felt
yeah, he left that
Can
cult
I
shit. You could not wrestle
But
him to save
listen,
your
Jack,
fucking life.
let
It
what you're
me
became
talking
an
about
offer.
ego
Lauren
thing.
doing. Hold on a second, Joe. It's not all about you this time.
All
What
right,
Jack
go
is
ahead.
talking about Lauren doing is what these panels have done to Jack every visit for weeks.
Oh, she left. I was hoping to engage her myself in dialogue, damn it.
She's got a show you can go do that on, just like Paul, just like
No,
everybody with a
Tom, exactly the point. I can go elsewhere and be pushed around and silenced.
Oh, you do.
This
Yeah.
was an opportunity for me to engage in dialogue, but
It still
I
is. You
missed
didn't make her leave. Did you
opportunities.
kick her? Did you kick
No,
her?
she
Did
left.
I?
No,
Then
she's
take it up
not
with
ready
her.
to engage yet either. I hope she's listening, Lauren, because you came at me with a bias that was a missed opportunity for both of us. And I tried explaining that before and again today, but until people want to understand what I'm saying, they run
And
away.
there we go.
JG, what's going on, man?
JG, you do have different glass doohickeys in. I'm not seeing shit, right? I had to zoom in and look. Yeah, you have to
Is
watch.
it?
Yes, they're different. You know, one's clear and one's, I don't even know what you call it, polarized or
J,
something.
JG is another interesting character that, hey, JG is, I have to give credit where credit is due. Credit has to go where credit is due. That was the inspiration for my question. Is this real? What is
And you
real?
and you're muted if you're talking, JG. You're muted. Yeah.
What did I miss with Paul and Senior? Did they just politely step away, or
I just watched the moment. I wasn't there. Someone told me about it. Matter of fact, it was Tommy that told me that Paul was just crying in front of his old man. It was a bad look. I went over there and looked. Everything looked fine.
today? I mean, while I stepped away to the door, I came back and they were both gone, and I was like, oh shit.
Paul left just now because Lauren said in your panel chat that she was here. That's why he fucking left.
Oh man, see, I missed that up. You know what? Credit to God. I had the idea of inviting Lauren. I sent her a text earlier, said, "Hey, you're welcome to join if this comes through." But, well, my plans didn't come together. But here we are. You know,
there's a dude in the chat named Jeebus Christ that he can come the fuck up here and talk that shit because I think he's a cool dude till he starts talking that shit. And for the rest of the chat, I've turned it off because you're nobody.
No, Jeebus and anyone is actually welcome here.
I watched Jeebus's thing with somebody about Chili, and I think he's a solid dude. I think his girl's a solid dude, but I think he's still got that unslaved shit in his head, and I'm coming out here to set that shit straight for reals this time.
Well, don't project. I mean, be careful not to project. That's my advice of caution.
I'm careful where I project semen, but that's about it.
Well, hey, serious. Back to the bigger picture. We've got incredible opportunities each day on these connections and through these networks, right?
Yes, agreed.
We got a lot of good men and women doing the auditing stuff, you
Right.
know, educating each other. What I'm trying to do too is bring more inspiration, more encouragement for people to step outside of themselves. You know, you don't have to be going head to head with the police or the authority you see every day, but we can
Fight
all
the
go out of
internal
our
Need
fight.
encouraged to stand up for themselves. Maybe that's what I'm trying to show them.
Say
So
that
they don't
again.
have to sit here and admit to a bunch of bullshit that they're not. Where's my Mitch at? Where's my Gimp at? Summon him.
What were you saying, Joe?
No, I was asking Tommy to repeat himself, but I didn't hear the
Oh.
first part of what he said.
I said I think it's an opportunity for people to display they can stand up for themselves and they don't have to be told by these internet fools what they are.
Hey, what if that's the whole purpose of us growing and maturing into
That's what it
people?
is. The purpose is for
Learning
you to
how
show who
to
you
stand
are
up
in
for
relation to what happened to you.
ourselves.
You gotta believe that's a huge role, part of it, right?
Well,
Well,
so
Jack, let me put
let's
it this
do
way.
it.
Jack,
Yeah.
do you remember that time that everyone was bringing up the Truman Show reference? There was a time in these streets that a lot of people, it was like the trend to refer to the Truman Show. And I had told on your show that if God is what we think God is, then we can all be the Truman all on the planet at the same time.
Yes, I would agree with
partaking in
that.
each other's
Yeah,
Truman.
it's
It's the
logical.
ego that tells us we're the only Truman.
Yes, I'm with you on that. I think God is that big, and it's probably something similar to what you're talking about.
But
Well,
at the same time, I'm not a truther, and I don't claim that's the way it is.
but I mean, serious. I go to a lot of I turn when I'm not here sharing or trying to be a part of, I receive and seek a lot of inspirations. And a lot of the messages of faith are just that, building faith and trust that the divine is with us. That through our faith and actions, that things can happen. And guys, I'm serious. I want peace on earth. I want
I
wars
think,
and death.
all right, every time we're going to loop here. Every time
Yeah.
you say that, I ask you, do you have a plan? And that's where
Yeah.
we go awry. I
Well,
think the answer is I do not have a plan, but you spend an hour convincing me that you do and you don't.
And
it's
every
yes
time you
and
say that, I go kill someone.
well,
Right.
it's a
That's
yes
your
and
fault. I
yes
kill
and
someone.
no,
Jack.
Joe. It's a
God
yes and
only
no.
exists in your imagination.
Well, the image of us is in our imagination.
I was just reading
And
the
we,
sign up there.
I know,
Okay.
I'm building onto that, right?
This is your plan? Is this where you're about to go? Because we're going to be arguing.
Well, the plan is we each do our own part. Whatever part that is, we can discover for ourselves. Now, if we all share the idea and the belief, hey, there is a way, if we brainstorm in our communities, how can we share the idea that a world of peace exists?
I don't think we can brainstorm in our community because people are going to get in there and they're going to have no plan and just say, I want peace. It won't be no brainstorming out to how to accomplish it.
Okay,
All they
but
got to is if we come together. So
the
far.
solution, but that is, see, the solution is the answer. The answer is the solution. We come together for peace, and peace, it's achieved through communication.
Listen, I've done that shit the last 1,000 times I went over someone's house. It was all about peace.
Joe,
you know what? We didn't change the world to bring peace, and we didn't really just by being
Joe,
peaceful niggas at that house.
Joe, I don't know who you've met with or what conversations you've had in the past.
Everybody.
This is a new conversation with the connections who I can think of. And I'm only one guy, but if I think through the connections I think of, we could find a way.
I'm not sure the plan yet.
Well, the plan is, just as I've been saying, there's 600 citizens out of the 350, 390 million Americans. There's 600 citizens that are in the capital, right? Those 600 citizens are like the fulcrum point between the people and the banks. It's the weakest point in our entire government structures, those 600 people and the judges they appoint.
You remember the
So,
original question? This is world peace. I'm not sure this
yep,
is straying toward world peace.
ending secrets. Simple as
Well,
that.
them Buka kids in Chicago ain't no secret, and it's still going down.
Well, the secrets originate with the banking system and the man's laws. Man's laws defy nature.
I agree with all this. Just don't get us to peace. You understand? This is just a regular conversation that we have every day. When I ask you for a plan, you are giving me a sermon.
Well, the plan is to give the sermon to the citizens in the government.
You're gonna need a
the
lot more
employees.
subscribers, bro. You're gonna need a lot more subscribers.
I don't think I need subscribers. I just need introductions. You introduce to the right people who have the connections. That's why I want to talk to Donald Trump. I want to talk to Jordan Peterson. I want to talk
Perhaps you
to
need the right
friggin' all
message
sorts of
to
people.
get to the
And if
people.
I ask you, you're gonna tell me I don't know what I'm gonna say to them. And then you're gonna say the obvious. I want to tell them that peace is better than war.
Joe,
No shit, bro. Where was
right.
this plan?
What I'm trying to say is let's believe that we can, and then we'll
I
spend
believe we
time
can. I
each
like to
day.
plan and make shit happen, not just come up with pie in
Listen,
the sky shit.
Brother,
okay, this is what I've been working on, Joe, and you're gonna appreciate this. I think the first step for Jack to show he can end wars and save the world is
Alright.
he has to convince RBR that Nazism is not ingrained into his DNA as a white man.
All
And
right,
you
first
can
let's-
convince RBR of that shit. And that's the only place, Jack, that I can go and freely say the N-word. Like RBR says, rattle them off, because these white lovers will support you in my audience. I love RBR, man.
Tom, as I mentioned, I'd love to have an opportunity to speak on other platforms, anywhere that people may be willing to discuss.
More evidence of the shit that I was saying, Tommy,
Well,
about race. You have that desire to say some shit, which is why I love RBR. I'm not saying this is what it is, but it does fit my shit that you can't rate to say out and call a black motherfucker the N-word or something. You're too fucking eager and it shows. You licking your lips.
No, I'm
RBR lets me
over
say
it,
the
Joe.
N-word. You're licking your lips.
Hey, if we're gonna talk about my inherent thoughts and the way I feel about things, at least let me say it. That's my problem
I
with
was
Paul
saying,
and Slave.
I was saying from me and my theory. I thought I made that clear.
It can create, Tom,
but this
it
is my
can
chance,
create
you know?
that appearance. It can appear that way, that you have.
Okay, it's supposed to appear that way. It's how I'm
Well, but it
presenting,
doesn't
Jack.
have to, dude. If it creates an interruption and
You
a
don't have to
controversy
sit
that's
and get kicked in the
unnecessary.
teeth by the unslaved for 9 hours at a time,
All
but
right,
that's how you
Jesus.
choose to do it.
Right, Paul.
So
no
you
one
want
wants
to present
change.
as a racist? Is that what we're going? If we're being direct, you want to present some racist stuff?
No, the fallacy is that I could be racist. I don't believe in race. There is only culture.
Okay, and you're trying to teach us that by using the N-word a lot.
No, the N-word was specific to RBR radio because of I was playing it where it lies, and it went great.
By cracking jokes on black people, watermelon, Aunt Jemima, big lips.
See, that's the
jokes.
thing. You and Paul, that's what I listened to Paul earlier whenever he kept me backstage. That's how he wrong. Because
please don't attach me to Paul, though. You let him argue his own shit. Stay with me. But okay, go ahead.
Well, then Joe, my problem is you're not sitting there telling Paul to let Illumitami argue his shit. That's why I don't. That's my issue, dude. Like, if I have any issue with you, it's that.
Yeah, I get
Hey,
that.
guys.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Let's please a different time.
I was in the
Tom,
backstage today.
Tom,
Anybody
Tom,
on the panel could see. No,
Tom,
we're not going there. We're not going there, Jack. Let me finish this. I was in his backstage today typing, Paul, bring me back up to exit. They're popping off in my parking lot. And I said, even if you don't bring me up, I have to fucking go. Because they were popping off in my pocket.
That's Paul shit again.
Who cares? Can we move
right,
the hell
who cares?
on?
Just say.
Yeah, that's Paul shit. Well, I guess it's just me and you because JG here. I don't know how quick he is with the whiteboard. He's bright, but I don't know how fucking fast he is.
Well, here, Joe, rather than talk about, well, It's the ego. That is the ego, the agent of chaos, the one that wants to interrupt and disrupt the exchange of truth.
I would agree.
We were having an exchange of truth, which is what I want to do. And the exchange of truth, Joe, the idea that I'm on here trying to communicate with people is we all have a part to play, and we get to choose the part we play.
Could
Where
you
I'm
be
going
more
with
clear,
it,
motherfucker? Yeah.
yes. In my past, I thought I was playing my part, being a union guy and standing up
Okay.
in my small ways.
Right.
I now recognize I was lying to myself and I was holding myself back.
Very
Now,
good.
I don't want others to keep lying to themselves, saying, I've done everything I can, we've done everything we know, because we haven't. There's always more. There's always more we can do, more we can try. There's new connections and ideas every single day.
You're stating the obvious. I'm not sure.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. And that's what I mean. I'm trying to be like a wake-up call, a gentle wake-up call. Guys, brothers and sisters, the world is ugly. We need to wake the fuck up. There's truly people dying right now today, unnecessarily. They're being murdered by wars, murdered from famine, murdered
Maybe
from
I've been looking
poverty.
at this wrong, Jack. When I've been talking about you really wanting world peace, I was thinking that maybe you wanted to see it soon, and so I assumed that you would have to make something happen soon. But if you're talking about, maybe you're just talking about, I put out positive vibes out here, and that's my
Joe,
gesture toward world peace. That's understandable.
Joe, I don't know how to be more clear.
Oh, but that's a
Well,
goddamn shame, because you suck at clarity.
here, Joe, let me restate what I believe I've already clearly
Excuse
stated.
me,
He
Lord.
excels at broad, though.
There's
He is good at broad.
something, there is something in my perspective, something bizarre going on in my life, and I've been unable to get answers or explanations from other people who have been involved. I've been seeking a witness or an advocate, someone willing to stand with me and say, all right, Jack, let's find out what the fuck is true. Let's call up your friends. Let's call up your family. Why are they out of your life?
Welcome to the human condition. You act like yours is different. You think everybody on there ain't got a problem with somebody in their family? Why is your shit different?
Jack,
not.
you've sat here listening to me bitch about people thinking the wrong thing about me, and now you're advocating for people to think the right thing about you. It's fucking classic.
I don't know what you're thinking or what you're saying with
I'm
that.
saying my problem in these streets is people saying a false narrative about me, and your problem that you want an advocate for is for people to see the right narrative of you.
Yes, I want people to help me overcome the false accusations. Because Joe, here's why.
I can't really relate to that. It's oblivious
The
to me.
people who were involved with ending my career have connections to the people in the United States government. That's the plan. There's like, if I could get cooperation from the phone numbers who I know.
It's a plan for world peace. Is to something to change in your personal life, for someone to get you in front of a senator and shit to change.
Hey, Joe,
something.
If you can't understand how helping a human being helps the world, then
what
okay.
Let's do it. What we're talking about. That's not
because
there. Of course, I
Joe,
can understand how.
Right, Joe. You want to make this assumption that my story is exactly the same as everyone else's without accepting that I'm clearly saying, hey guys, there's something bizarre, something a little bit different.
I'm not saying your shit's exactly the same. I'm saying
you
every
just
one
did.
of us.
You just did.
Okay.
And
Well,
Joe,
let me clarify then. Everyone has the same, well, not the same as yours, but their story that is exactly identical to yours.
Right. Here's the difference, Joe. Here's the difference. When people hit rock bottom, right? When they lose their family, their career, and everything else in their life.
I know has one of those stories. Yeah. What's
your point? Everyone else doesn't come online saying, hey guys, let's work towards world peace. Let's try and create a better world for each other. Most people are crying their little fucking pussy party because, oh, my feelings got hurt. I'm all alone. I don't have money to feed myself. I did that shit for a minute. So if you can't see what, a fellow man who's actually had everything taken from him, standing here pretty strongly, confidently, encouraging others to join him instead of oppose him. Joe, if you can't see that, man.
No, you don't join a motherfucker who has no plan. I can
quit
back you
quit
up.
making that accusation and you'd fucking see the plan.
I'm sorry. The plan is
what did I
for
walk
someone to get you in front of someone powerful. This is your plan. Yeah, I've got it wrong again. What the fuck is the plan?
But Jack did achieve one thing that can save us a lot of time, Joe Cool. What Jack and you just discussed about everybody having their thing they're dealing with and their path and their Truman Show. That's why anyone calling me slaved or racist can kick rocks with that shit, because I really don't care that much. I'm doing my own. I'm in my own path, just like everybody else, and we all have to deal with our calibrated thing.
Exactly. And as far as I'm concerned, anyone who has a different opinion on me and think I'm wrong about a thing, I'm not gonna get the fuck upset. These cats can have their fucking opinion, even about me. All right, I gotta suck that up.
Between you and JG, JG's the only one that says I'm trying to fuck him, and I've offered both of you that room. I've offered Paul the room if he needed it. I've offered a lot of people that room, and some whores have taken me up on it. Some homeless dudes have taken me up on it.
Wait, I gotta bang you to stay at your crib, Joe?
No, Joe, you just have to ask. JG has to bang me now that that's what he thinks. JG has to fuck me in the ass if he ever wants to stay in this room. He's gonna toss this salad if he needs a free. If his homeless ass needs a free room in Denver, he's gonna toss this salad for it.
I don't know if I want to be a part of this conversation. I changed my mind.
Oh, it's just to get that look on Jack's square.
Hey, I just wanted to come up and say what's up to Joe Cool. And since Little Tommy, since you asked me to come up, I wasn't taking shots at you in the chat, bro. I was just saying that, obviously Paul did rub you the wrong way.
No, Paul rubbed me the wrong way because he's a hypocrite. Jeebus, would you like?
No, I understand that. Trust me, I've experienced that firsthand. But that's not what I was talking about. The part you guys were talking about where he attempted to poke you, right? And I was saying that the last time I watched one of his streams, he had you on like mute, like talking for you and making you say stuff. And
I know. I'm one of the few people that knows when that's happening in real time. And I gave a $500 contest to anyone that could tell me how I was doing it.
Right, and it was a poke, you know what I mean? So that but I wasn't saying like
Jeebus,
I don't know how
I'm going to tell you one more time.
You.
I'm going to tell the whole YouTube one more time. I watched the goddamn show for a month or more before I ever chatted or came in. Like it's all been a game, people. I'm just a successful cracker living his life with his own problems and his own mistakes. And this YouTube shit, it's just a Joker game to me. That's why I leaned into the Joker thing.
Let me make sure I understand what you're saying. I think you were saying something I didn't understand. You're saying that you scoped, I think we're talking about Paul's. I already bring him up, fucking whatever. But
you shouldn't apologize to bring him up because I'm not telling you there's a name or
I
a
wasn't
word.
making it about Paul.
But let me get the point out that but you're saying you watched him for a month or whatever, then you hopped up there and played some type of game the entire time. That's what I'm missing.
You're missing the prequel to it where Paul made a name for himself on the bigger end of the streets by being spotlighted by some other rights to do shit YouTubers.
So you are saying that you sat quiet and jumped up there with a plan to accomplish a thing.
Watching, waiting, no. I was into him at first, and when I realized let me answer your question, my dude.
I think you just did.
Interesting.
But no, this is like your racial questions. You ask racial questions because you already know the answer you want, and you won't take any other answer. That's what Z was trying to say, and Paul was trying to say. That's my only issue.
Hey, Tommy. Tom, what is the purpose? Why are you here?
To walk in truth, my friend.
There we go. I got what I came for. There it was right there.
That was funny.
I'm honestly, and it's not just Tommy. I'm sitting here deeply contemplating what in the fuck am I doing
That's 2
with
panels
my
today. Paul and
time,
you both
with
trying
my
like, why did we let
energy?
Tom on? Why is he
Huh?
still here? I got
Well,
all these
it
panels. They complain
seems,
about what I say, but they always bring me up.
yep, it seems that it's always got to be about you or people talking shit about me. It's telling me that I don't have a plan, telling me that I don't have any actions, telling me all sorts of shit that's not true. But then when I do try and explain it, then we want to fucking interrupt, deflect, detract, and distract. The agents of chaos are afoot.
This is what you see. I say you could silence me without all that emotion by laying out your plan succinctly right now. I've given you 87 times to do it.
You're not my judge. You want the
I am
plan,
not,
Joe.
but you don't
Hey,
wonder
Joe.
why I say you
Joe.
don't have a
All right,
plan. Then you're
you can
unable to
leave too,
articulate it.
Joe.
I
Hey,
know,
Joe.
nigga. I know that.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm trying to get people to consider. Faith. Faith comes beyond the plans. You think I haven't made fucking plans? You think I haven't written speeches and fucking laid all this out? 5 years I've been going at this alone, facing opposition and criticism. No offers of support, no offers of help. No, actually, many liars, fucking liars like Tommy in this empty promise of some room that doesn't mean shit. People lie all the time and say they're doing good.
It's life. It's life.
I'm saying that we can all do better, Joe.
I would agree with you.
Simple. What I'm sitting here, what my reflection was sitting here after explaining my common life, you know, all the problems that I'm still facing currently today, and all the selfishness. Selfishness is what creates the slave mindset and keeps us fucking divided, is the selfishness. So, Joe, that's the answer that I'm going to share.
It's an answer to some question, not mine. I don't think.
I know. And Joe, I don't mean to come at you like this. Yeah. You're a cool dude, but
I'm okay with this as long as you don't get so emotional. We gotta, get, I'm just debating the point here. I'm not a personal attack on you.
Well, you're making me overcome your disbelief. And your disbelief is not my problem.
You could accept my disbelief and let it be. You don't have to
yes, and then you'll continue walking off saying I'm a liar who doesn't have a plan, and you can continue on, but I don't want that. I want us to know what is true, Joe.
You want me to agree with you, bro.
I think what Joe was getting at.
Go ahead.
I think Joe's intentions were just to kind of see part of that plan. He was asking, what is the plan? Like,
yes.
What prevents you from imagining it happening the way that I've described? What details are you lacking?
Oh, well, if I can encapsulate what you described, you say if we're really kind to each other and understand that you are my brother and I am your sister, we'll find world peace. Yes, I think that takes 5,000 years. It is the way to do it. I thought that you had you were talking about some quicker. Maybe I'm wrong. I said that.
Well, you've rejected what I said. I fucking explained it multiple times and you've rejected it outright.
What? Rejected this theory?
The connections, Joe, through the people of my past. I have connections in Washington, D.C. through professional and business relationships. They have professional and perhaps personal relationships with some of the sitting members of Congress. So
when I said
the last I heard you were flying,
you're going to put you in touch with someone from your family because they know someone. That is exactly what I said verbatim when I asked you, is that your plan? You said no.
It's one of many, many, many unfathomable possibilities. Another possibility is fuck my family, fuck my friends.
Like
We,
this one better.
through connections here right now, here on
I like
YouTube
this
and
one
social
much better.
media, we come together and we find a way to interrupt these stupid
It's like
games
a
being
billion
played
times
out.
more brilliant than the
I
other
think if
plan.
you
No.
document it, even if it's not fruitful just from the standpoint of what comes out of the conversation, but you will get views out of it, you know, and it will like make people aware of what you're talking about or thinking about. And, you know, you can only get stronger through the process. Last time I heard you were going to fly out there and have the conversations. I hope you document it because I think it will be interesting.
Undoubtedly, I'll go with you. I like to travel.
Well, I pray that a way opens up, but so far,
Fuck a prayer.
so
away.
far,
I just
you
don't
know what?
believe in that shit.
Hey,
You gotta
hey,
have a
Joe,
plan and action to make something happen.
Joe, if you would accept me for what I claim, and what I claim as a man who has been blessed with a personal experience and understanding a different relationship with God, okay? Just from my
Just
personal
accept
perspective.
that your
So,
relationship with God is somehow different than everyone else's on the world. Just accept that.
accept that as a possibility that my relationship is different than yours.
Okay, then that would mean that everybody's relationship is different. Yes or no? Or is it just yours?
Yes. Well, our understanding of our relationship is different, but there is a very intimate and inseparable connection between each of us and God. I just happen to have been allowed time and opportunity to learn the explanations from others so that I
Unlike the
could
rest of us.
understand.
Unlike the
Well,
rest of us.
Joe, here's the point I was trying to make is most recently, I've been learning that most important lesson. Place your faith in God, not in man.
I've learned that a long time ago, and I think
Okay?
it's a good lesson, but I think it's a deflection from what the hell we're talking about now.
It could be. That's
Hey, Jack,
actually
can I
a
ask a
common
question?
Christian excuse. Please go ahead, Dick.
Have you ever thought about making phone calls and just saying the disclaimer at the beginning, you know, I'm recording this just for educational
That's
purposes.
a plan.
But,
I can get behind it. That's a plan.
you know, just jumping right on here and just calling people out and just seeing if they'll have an open conversation. Just say, look, I'm having a discussion. We want to educate ourselves. And
Phil,
then you don't have
put
to
it out
fly
here as
anywhere. We don't
content
have
for
to
your
waste
channel.
any. Yeah, no wasting fossil fuels, right, Joe? I mean,
yeah, it's
keep it all clean.
brilliant, bro. That's brilliant. You throw that in there. I didn't want to waste the fossil fuels because I'm serious about my commitment to this country. Yes,
that's right.
Yes.
Anyone could do anything, and that's not my purpose of being here on YouTube. I'm not doing this stuff for entertainment or.
We were just pointing out that here is a direct plan.
It is.
And blah blah blah.
Yep. I've made phone calls. I haven't publicized all my efforts, so maybe that's why I receive the constant accusations, because I didn't publicize
you don't tell us
everything
about
I've
your
done.
efforts. You don't tell us either when we're up here like this. You don't be like, well, I've already.
Oh shit, Joe! I've explained my story many, many times, and if people don't want to know, they're not going to ask.
I meant specifically and what you're doing to reach that power, specifically there, because it just seems to me like you've put a block in a stumbling block. I need someone else to make my vision happen.
I used to think that.
in there
I used to think
like
that,
a
Joe.
writer who says, I'd be a
Joe,
great writer if I had a computer.
Joe,
this pen and pad.
Well, it doesn't matter. I can explain it, but it would be easily misunderstood. Because where you were saying, I used to believe that. I used to believe I needed people to help me. I used to believe I needed money.
Very good. Yeah.
So now personally, I've overcome the belief. I don't need anything. I don't even want anything more than what I've already received. So what I am doing is I'm sharing opportunities. I believe that there are possibilities that have not yet been explored through my life and connections I know. I'm inviting
Of
people,
course, sir.
but I don't give a shit if anyone joins me or not, because destiny, God will reveal the path. And I think everything is becoming perfectly aligned. Like I said, I got a
Yeah.
stranger came to the door earlier during this stream. So when I get off, I've got other opportunities to pursue in real life.
It usually comes to when you find that message, you don't have to ask a motherfucker for help. They're going to be drawn to it, and you're going to run into a bunch of other people who have that message. You will congregate. You don't have to ask a
Joe,
motherfucker. Yeah.
Joe, I thought that's what I was discovering in this YouTube public square, man. I thought I was connecting with like minds, radicals, people who wanted change.
Listen, as a guy who's been here a very long time, I can tell you 97% of these rooms, and I'm being generous, are not conducive to that. But that doesn't mean they can't be tools for other things. But there are niches and some people who are willing to go to those depths with you if you're willing to, man. I can take you in some of the fucking rooms. There's nothing but intellectual motherfuckers, intellectual conversations. Everything's polite, and they're willing to go into the fucking minuscule details of a thing to help you figure it out, Joe. And they stay great people with great minds. The rooms do exist.
Joe, where may I ask for some help discovering those? That's
yes.
what I'd love.
Shit, I ain't got your info. Let me see.
Well,
hold on, man.
yeah,
I'll put on my other. Can't do that. I'll just type in. I'm gonna go to this channel. I'll just type in the private. I'll type in a private name of one of my buddies. A couple of my buddies. Damn it, I can't even get my chat shit to show up. I feel like a rookie over here.
Hey, and then you could pay for your plane ticket to go talk to these people by on the phone calls. You'll do the call if people donate, meaning like, I want you to meet this particular person, and I'll donate to you to call them on my behalf or whatever. Not on my behalf, but just to do that for the entertainment value and the possibility of maybe making a difference and making some change. And I think people would donate to it, to have you call someone in particular. It's like, if you send $20 in, I'll make the attempt and I'll try to do it live with this person, and then
you know what, Dick?
The money.
It's an interesting idea and an creative use of the technology. See, I've tried a lot of things.
I'll be your first customer. I'll tell you that. If you do it, I'll definitely pay you to call someone. Not on my behalf, just for the entertainment value.
Donations aren't. I don't care about that right now. Like I said, I don't need anything. I just want to succeed. And that's what I figured out. If God could be real, if God does want us to succeed and we get to imagine our own success, well, I've imagined I wanted to be a man like Dr. Martin Luther King. He's the one who inspired me the most when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I remember having the conversation, how do you want to die when you grow up? I wanted to be assassinated, because that would mean that I rose enough in influence that someone wanted me gone.
Because you squares like us can't be assassinated. You got to be you just get killed and murdered. You have to be a somebody to get assassinated.
Yeah. So I prepared myself to the what if. I was pretty naive when my eyes started opening to the corruption. I was naive. And I was thinking this was new. A lot of this wasn't figured out. I thought I was ahead of the curve, but what's that? God, there's that fallacy. There's a study where once you learn a little bit, you think you're the expert. And then
the iceberg. Or the you just it's the guy who thinks he doesn't have anything to learn, right? because he thinks he's
Dunning-Kruger.
figured it all out.
Dunning-Kruger effect. Yes, that's
Yeah.
what it was. The Dunning-Kruger effect. That was me. I thought I was ahead of the curve and, naive. And I figured, well, I looked at the past. People who did stand up throughout history against the Federal Reserve and the oppression of this corruption, they ended up murdered, suicided,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I faced that naively thinking, all right, well, fuck. Maybe this is why my family or friends are gone. Maybe God's keeping them safe. Maybe I'm going to succeed and keep them safe. They're away from me, no part of it.
That's lunatic ego shit.
It was, but I didn't know what to believe. So now what I believe is it all happened by some divine purpose, something greater, for greater things, man. I've achieved inner peace.
Yes.
I didn't know that was possible, man.
Yeah.
So
remember, a lesson is repeated until learned. At least that's what I believe. So you'll have to figure it out. Whatever you were supposed to figure it out at some point, you got to figure it out.
Joe,
Otherwise,
I
you
love
keep coming back to this damn hell.
I love that. And that's something it took me a while to humble myself to the truth of what you just said.
Yeah.
The patterns repeat until
yeah.
we learn. But here's something else I learned ahead of that lesson is it's hard to notice the patterns, right? When the arrows and bullets are coming at your head, you're dodging that shit, right?
Dodging, you don't see the fucking patterns. Yeah.
You're trying to survive. You don't see the patterns until you look back and see what hit the wall, man. And then you figure it out.
And if you're smart, you watch other people and you see them getting ducking and dodging, and you picture yourself over there. It helps as well.
Brother, from the neurological sense, there's these mirror neurons that fire when we do what you just said. We see someone in that combat, in that battle. We imagine ourselves in that experience, and we train our mind.
And learn from it. That's dope.
We do. It's
logical,
fascinating.
though. It's logical too. Yeah.
Life's pretty cool, Joe. That's really what the lesson I've learned. And I honestly think that's the message that the Christ was trying to share with us. And what the meaning of the gospel and stuff was.
So I would agree with you, first of all, but I'll do a little devil advocate shit.
Please.
So we life's pretty cool and all that. So does that mean we lay down our sword and we don't fight whoever, the government, the whatever oligarchy, insert bad guy here?
I think we change the tactics of fight,
I would agree.
right?
Yeah.
And we recognize the force and the power that's available through love and correction, not punishment.
That's adult shit. Yes, that's adult shit. Yes.
Well, there's that old saying,
I just want to say you're getting momentum and you're, on a good trajectory. And if your point was that you wanted to be heard and you wanted to, have your message get out there, it seems like you're getting more of that action right now. And so that's all positive,
Respect, Dick. It is. Hey, we've had our disagreements, but
yeah, I don't agree with you on basically anything, Jack. But, doesn't mean I'm not still entertained by the process and it isn't fascinating and that I don't enjoy the conversations greatly.
Yes, it's clear that you're on an upward trajectory. Yeah,
we're all part of each other's experiences. But,
yes.
Hey, that message of correction, Joe, that there's that old saying, educate the children and you won't have to punish the men. Right?
I've never heard it before, but it certainly sounds wise.
It's
Educate the children.
Paraphrased from what it originally was, but there's truth in that. When our children are raised to become leaders, generous and honorable characters, right? When those children rise up, the obedience will end.
When they learn responsibility, right? Everybody knows their rights, and idiots like me are out there standing on my rights. What we need to learn is responsibility. And, you know, it's like giving a guy a gun and, you know, he just waving all around. No, you need to learn responsibility. So when you teach the kid, you teach him responsibility when he's young. He'll grow up doing a lot less dumb shit, finding out the fucking hard way.
Yeah, I
Dude,
think that's really where most of our problems get fixed is, you know, how we raise our children.
I would agree. They got a study where geniuses, their children come up to be genius, and they saying, is it in genes? They saying it's some of that, but surprisingly, it's the way they teach their kids. Most kids, you know, the guy putting together an electrical box or something, the kid come over, they say, hey, stand back, you can get hurt. The genius kid, his father was the type to be like, here, look at this. This is the neutral, you know. They say that was the difference in how their kids got so smart.
Hey, and actually, I should say it's more Pareto principle. I'd say about 20% of what you say I do agree with. And one thing that we agree on is the whole money deal. How if they control the money, they control the people. That was dealt with, and we lion's share problem. I mean, they wouldn't, you know, have all the leverage and all the ability to pull the shenanigans and stuff. So it'd be a big step in the right direction.
They've also heard these evil fucks saying things like, if I control water, you control the people and other
the resources.
Food, the resources, I control the people. So they're winning on every fucking end. They got farmers pouring out milk, you know, people killing the cattle and shit. That's insane.
There is evil afoot, and it's everywhere.
Yes. And you got to battle it with good, right? Which is where you were right. When you're saying in the end, it's to battle with love. All of those things are right. I'm just an impatient fuck, right? That you cannot beat hate with hate and with anger and all of that bullshit. I recognize that shit.
But yeah, by buying out the, you know, having control of the money, then they buy out the politician, which then buys out that ideology and that whole mindset around the resource and how it's managed and handled and regulated. And so then, exactly. You control the people with every single facet of how
my
they
mom is one of those,
live.
anything CNN says, she's going to believe it. And if you try to give her some logic, hey.
Mine too, Joe. Mine too. That's difficult, isn't it? Because you got, you know.
It's hard to swallow, bro. I got relatives and I travel a lot. I'm always running into them and trying to give them stats. I remember I was in Arkansas. This was a long time ago. This is how long ago it was when they were saying that 1 in 10 people were going to die from this. We must wear a mask. And I went to Arkansas, and the WHO and somebody else, CDC, had released their figures, which made it more like the flu numbers. And I tried to explain that to my uncles and aunties who are as old as my mom. It was like, you know, talking to a fucking brick wall. I'm showing them stats and studies and shit. I'm like, here's where they got it. A famous study in California is what made them have to do the truth, and some other college studies where California found out it had 0.03% death rate as opposed to 1 in 10. And it's like, and they found out that everybody already had the antibodies. So everybody already. You know, and then that's when everybody looked their shit, and then they won't hear none of that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I allowed my mind to kind of drift to the chat there for a little bit.
Did you want me to answer that about 9/11? Somebody was asking what I thought about the buildings and how they came down, and you know.
Samantha had been asking me and was asking you guys to bring it there.
Really?
What is your?
I'm sure whatever happened, it was totally legit. You know, I'm sure.
It's
trust your government.
Yeah.
Trust the narrative.
There was an investigation. The government did it. It's all there. It's all public. No, dude,
video. All right.
Too many mysteries.
I thought it was crazy that the way they ID'd them. If this is true, I heard that the way they ID'd them was that their paperwork, which is somehow floated and fell into the street, and they found all this shit unburned. So like, I guess it's feasible, but
you guys pay attention to James Corbett,
the comedian, is it?
No,
not too much.
He does his own news sourcing, but the comedian show was built based off of his stuff, I think.
Yeah. The fat dude. No,
Not the
British.
Corbett report, but it's James Corbett. Anyway, he did some incredible reporting on the 9/11 and the background of the Rockefellers.
Oh, cool.
He's done some cool documentaries, and between some of the things I've seen and some of the things I've heard, that could have been a ritualistic agenda of
What's
the
the
darkest
last name
form.
again? Corbett, like Corbett.
Corbett. Here.
Corbett.
This can't be him with 7,000 subs.
All right. Well, my dog's growling at me. I'm gonna go walk my dog. I'll catch you in a bit, maybe. If not, have a great evening, folks.
You as well.
Hey, thank you, brother. Great to see you.
Yep, nice talking.
As always, Freedom Grower. You can check him out under that channel. Let's see if this works.
Yeah, did you find who he is? Okay.
Yeah, the Corbett report. He does some pretty interesting stuff. I haven't been on his website in a little bit. I follow him on BitChute. But
that's the YouTube one right there. Can you click on that?
Whoops, I missed it.
The first one. Yeah, that's YouTube or whatever that is. Just by the arrow, I think that's YouTube.
Wait, are you talking about? I can't see the population bomb one.
Let me see what it says. It says,
Or
yeah,
back on the
population
other.
bomb. Yeah, said population bomb. Yeah.
Welcome back to New World Next Week. I'm James Corbett of CorbettReport.com.
And I'm James Evan Pilato from MediaMonarchy.com. Take action to identify, deter, disrupt, prevent, prohibit, investigate, or otherwise mitigate. We've got that story, plus population bomb threats. But first, the country.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Oops. I'm not gonna go too much with it. He does a weekly news, and then, but some of his documentaries, like Rockefeller Medicine, some of the connections he made with the insurance and the purchase of the Twin Towers, and some of the finances that was involved in that. He does some good investigation and good reporting, in my opinion.
I remember YouTube could be a source for finding good shit. I mean, video of good shit where, you know, they catch, you know, the FEMA, the FBI, they're doing crazy shit. Everything's been scrubbed. All of that shit with the Secret Society, Illuminati, all them great tapes that you used to listen to, all that shit's been scrubbed. Go back and try to prove one of the theories that you proved 15 years ago by accessing YouTube. No fucking chance.
That's what Corbett, he did a report too, the Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
The way that burned, that's kind of the internet right now. That's what he's been pointing out. If you find stuff, it's not a bad idea to download it, create your own electronic hard copy.
Yeah.
Because shit disappears.
Yeah. Yes, it will. It will.
Which Joe, that's another clear sign that we are losing this battle.
Very good.
Right?
Yeah.
History is written by the victors, and they are lying to us on the news every day, reporting the lies of history today. Yeah. So we are losing that war in the information.
You would think it would be easy to point out because it's mathematically impossible for everybody on CSNBC and CNN to agree with this one agenda, and everybody on Fox and those guys to agree with another, and nobody in the masses are crossing lines. Well, that's a good idea. Well, I kind of like this one. Well, you look stupid when you did that. No chance that all of these politicians agree on every fucking thing all the time. That tells you the game is fucking rigged. It's dumb. As
Joe,
far as
it's just it's literally, when you step back and you look at it for what it is, this political system and economic system, it is unreal. It's like, how can this be functioning and operating like this? It's like it's in front of our faces, man.
you're right. Nothing backing the money. We just gotta believe a thing because you say so. That's crazy.
It's insane, man.
Trust the experts, and then all their flying monkeys come out and be like, man, you better wear that mask. And you didn't listen to Fauci, and no, that's not where it comes from, and all of that bullshit. And then you sitting up here 2 years later, and motherfuckers, questioning this Fauci up under the fucking Senate floor.
Yep. Put a fancy name on that shit. Warp speed sounds kind of cool, right?
Yes, and it'll explain how we invented something we've never been able to do, but somehow we've been able to do it just for you government works. Fuck out of here.
Don't trust that science from other places.
Trust
this science. Our expert.
The government. We've made new science just for you.
Holy
trust us.
shit.
Can we look into it? It doesn't seem to coincide with this. You can't trust them sources. You gotta trust us.
Joe, it's kind of humbling, isn't it? It's infuriating.
Yes. It makes you feel small. Makes my journey feel worthless when I'm up here uploading vids and fighting police and shit. It makes you feel like you're chipping away at Mount Everest type shit, like you're dumb. Yeah, it's fucked up.
Joe, that's, to say it like that, you're saying the words I feel, man. But I find assurance. I found so much hope, Joe. I discovered so much hope by this dysfunctional YouTube community that I've been finding.
I agree.
There's a lot of people chipping away. There's a lot of people making a difference in our own ways, and together, brother, I see us rising. I really do.
Yeah, I know I like to find out where we differ, because I feel like that's where I'm sharpened. If we get up here and anywhere, not just here, and we just talk about shit we agree with, I feel like that was a wasted opportunity. There was 6 smart motherfuckers up there. I must, get there or make them dig for an opinion. But because I really love that. I prefer the debate of a thing more than the agreeable thing. But I must point out the agreeable thing is just as fucking necessary. In fact, my guy, Blind Justice, I don't know if you watch these auditing shits. He was saying he's literally a blind auditor. And he was telling me that approaches like mine, where I'm aggressive and shit. I was like, I feel bad about it, blah, blah, blah. And he gave me that you can't beat that shit with anger. You got to learn to love, pretty much the Jack Talbot kind of speech. You got a fucking point. Well, and then he let me off the hook. He was like, but don't forget, Joe, it's a tool. There's a time for it. And you must weigh when you do good. Like, for instance, I yell at some cop, the shit gets a million views. Turns out that cop, loses his job and blah, blah, blah. And your yelling made that possible. It's a tool. It's probably more yin and yang. It's both things in some way.
That's interesting, Joe. It's certainly a learning experience, isn't it? And you know what? You mentioned you had issues with anger. You've got a coolness to you and a way of communicating that I've been learning from. And I want you to know that I appreciate it. Okay.
Right on. I appreciate that shit. Right.
Your method of communication. It's been helpful.
Cool. Right. If anything, I like to think that I remain cool, right? I don't get invested in anything. Remain cool, talk it out. I hope those are the things you're learning from me. I don't know if it is, but those go a long way, bro. Because people are just up here to push the buttons. That's all. If you feed the troll food, you make them stronger, you weaken, all that logical shit. So just fucking remain calm and stand on strong arguments. Don't try to, bullshit people. You will get fucking you attract attention to yourself. You lie, you will attract attention to yourself. In no good fucking way.
Amen. The one thing I can say genuinely with me being on here is, and I've made mistakes. I've already shown myself to be a fool at times, but
Yeah,
you
you're
know, I'm
much better
authentic.
now, right?
Well, I'm growing and I'm authentic. Who
Right.
you see is what you get. It's going to be
Right.
me
I would agree with that.
here and elsewhere.
You're like a big kid to me, man. I like your dream of going there. It's like I think of it when I'm away from you. I think of how I don't know, heroic. I don't know if heroic is the right word. It's like, I don't know.
It's
Peter Pan.
imaginative.
Imaginative. Heroic is in there somewhere. Heroic would have to be in there somewhere, and I think it's a great thing, and we got to back them on this. I think that shit when I'm away from you.
Thank you. You know, who knows? Joe, I know it for a fact. It just logic and reasoning. It makes sense. Humans have wars. Humans have wars and oppression.
Yeah.
Because we allow secrets to be legal. It's absolutely insane for this species to think we can lie to each other and get along.
I love the dream, but I don't believe for a second that talking to some heavyweights and that have power, telling them that secrets and lies must go, will solve anything. If you only thing you can get is murdered with that shit. I admire motherfucker, your dream, but no fucking way that one works, bro. In my opinion, don't beat me up. That's argue me. Right? Give me a better argument than if you think I'm wrong.
Brother, how about this? We'll agree that can be your opinion today.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
Very good. Yeah,
in the future, I hope
you made that change.
Who knows? Who knows where the future brings?
When has that ever happened, though, Jack? When has some powerful man ever, came out and was like, something must end, and actually moved forward and divulged some shit? It's like the cop who tells on other cops, he's immediately torn apart. That doesn't really happen.
It hasn't happened as often as it should. But Joe, you know as well as I do. I mean, there's innocent men and women locked in fucking prisons and cages right now.
Illinois, 66% of the people they checked on on death row were there wrong.
66%
of the people they checked
on death row?
On death row in Illinois. The governor, when he left, the last thing he did was get rid of the death penalty the day before he retired or the day he retired or whatever. Yeah, because it was really bad.
It's a sickening statistic, man. It's one that shouldn't exist. But, in the past, people have been persecuted for standing up and for speaking out what's right. I mean, I don't know where anyone stands or what's true even, but Julian Assange, and the stuff he brought up. Yeah, Snowden, these other people who this lifetime risked their lives, their futures to try and do good for the greater.
There's
more
shit
people,
that they
man.
did too, bro. That is big shit that they did. I think that falls under maybe you and Paul, whoever had the definition. Where I think it was yours. Everybody doing their own thing. That those people were faced, and they had gotten to a point where they were going to do the right thing. And every individual must do the right thing in order for this shit to succeed. As opposed to, it was more a group effort. We got thousands together and marched and did, that motherfucker in a moment was like, you know what? I could copy this. This is illegal. If I tell anyone, they're going to crush my ass and can me. I'm going to copy this and blah. That was just like, big shit.
Dude, when I heard a couple of interviews with Snowden, and he's actually a very intelligent and articulate man.
A lot of them, yeah.
When I started actually listening to his story and understanding more of what was going on, fucking made me feel like I wasn't doing enough. Honestly. So, hey, Joe, we're coming up on 2 hours. This has been a beautiful.
All right. It was great, man. I enjoyed myself. I've been up here forever. All right. It was lovely, man. You had some good guests here tonight too, man. Especially that chick was dope. You had some good guests.
You know, we did. We had some great guests, some great conversations, and holy cow. I was just thinking about that. We had the Unslaved one, we had Lauren, we had Tommy, we had Cosmic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Can't remember the name.
it got
Anyway.
good. All right. Later, bro.
Hey, blessings. Much love, Joe Cool. And for those who don't know, I'll try and drop a link for Joe Cool and a few others in the description for those who catch this later. And I encourage you to share the love, check out the work and creativity, the talents and contributions of the others. And thank you for joining us today on April Fools. Don't be a fool. Drop that ego. Drop that ego arrogance. Drop that ego insecurity. Become the whole being of you and move forward into the future with power, with strength, with peace in your heart and love. Love to bring us through. Thanks again, brothers and sisters.